Good evening. Purim it's over. Preparation for Pesach started. In Purim we had a mitzvah to remember to destroy the memory of Amalek. Who is Amalek? We don't know for sure today. There is a tradition that it's Germany. It passed from generation to generation that the Germans is Amalek. But not only them. It can be the Germans, the French, it can be all these areas over there, the Russians. But we don't know for sure. There's no way to point in a goy and knows if he's from the descendants of Amalek. 3 mitzvot from the Torah relates to Amalek. One is erase their name, destroy them. Second, do not forget what they do to you. And another one, remember what they did to you on the way. So remember, it's a positive commandment. To destroy them is a positive commandment. And not to forget, it's a restriction. Don't forget. You should not forget. To destroy the Amalek, is it a mitzvah for a Jewish individual or for the Jewish nation? What does it mean? If it's a mitzvah from the Jewish nation, then it's the army. The army has to go to a war and destroy them as much as they can. But one individual at a time, maybe no. We have a very interesting thing about Amalek. If there's mitzvah to destroy the Amalek, how is it possible that the Gemara said that the descendants of Haman, which was 100% Amalek, Haman Agagi, Agag is the king of Amalek, Haman Agagi means he's an Amaleki. How is it possible that the Gemara said that the children of Haman learns Torah in Bnei Brak? The Gemara says that. Bnei Banav shel Haman lomdim Torah b'Bnei Brak. That means they converted. First question is, what merit the children of Haman had that they got to go and sit and learn Torah? It's a very big zchut to sit and learn Torah. How many people have this merit to sit and learn Torah? And the children of Hitler sits and learn Torah. Imagine such thing. Haman was the Hitler of that time. Same story, same plan. So the question is, wow, what was, and the first question, really, that's the second question. The first question is, how did they accept them to convert them if there was mitzvah to destroy them? If he comes into the Beit Din, they had to kill him immediately. How did they let him convert? It's not in your hand. The Torah says, Hashem said, erase them from the face of the earth. So the answer is, believe it or not, if Amaleki comes to convert, you accept him. You accept him. And that's an exception to the rule. The rule is to destroy the memory of Amalek, not to leave anyone. But if they come to convert, מקבלים מהם גרים. Very interesting. The Gemara in Yerushalmi, Shvi'it, page 16, the Gemara says, Amar Rav Shmuel, 3 כרוזים שלח יהושע לארץ ישראל לפני שנכנס. When he entered Eretz Israel, Joshua, with the army to occupy the Holy Land, he sent 3 messages to the Goyim that used to sit in Israel when all the 7 nations that all worship idols. And this is what the messages were. First, anyone who wants to leave now, leave safely. We won't touch you. Leave the land, you'll be safe. Second, the ones who wants to stay in the land under our control in a peaceful manner is welcome. You can stay in the land and we will treat you fairly. And the third one, anyone who wants to do a war, we're ready for war. You want to fight? No problem. We're ready for the war. The Girgashi, it's one of the 7 nations, went to Africa. They got up, their entire army, and they left to Africa. How can it be? Imagine now the Indians, the American Indians, that don't even have an army. They have women, children, babies. They come to Russia and they say to the Russian bear, we'll give you a week to leave the land. If you want to stay, we'll keep you fairly. If you leave peacefully. If you stay, you want to have a war, no problem, we're ready to have a war. This is more or less the relationship between the American Indians to the Russian is like the nation of Israel to the Girgashi. It's a very massive army they have. And the Jewish nation coming, they don't have such a big army, you know, they have the women, the children, 4 years they're in the desert. How is it possible that they say, no problem, sir, senor, Mr. Yoshua Ben Nun, no problem. We'll go to Africa, here is our homes, come and be welcome. How is it possible? They were very clever. They knew what Hashem did in Mitzrayim. Rachav told Yoshua Ben Nun, everybody here knows what your God did to you. They knew that we came out of Egypt and the biggest army in the world, the Egyptian army, drowned and nothing left from them. So they knew that Hashem is with the Jews. And they say, we better stay alive and lose our home than we'll die. What's the point? So they left. They left and they got saved. There was a group, nation called Givonim. They stayed and made peace, surrender. And Yoshua gave them a job to bring water from the wells, to cut trees. They converted. It's a questionable conversion. All kinds of things with them. But nobody killed them. And what's the third? 31 kings of all the nations who were there, 31 kings stayed to a war and all of them died. Not one of them survived. The Rambam, Maimonides, in Ilchot Melachim, the laws of kings, this is what he writes. 7 nations that God said to destroy their idols, not to leave anything, any memory from them, include Amalek, which is the worst nation in history, Amalek. Before you come to fight with them in a war, you offer them peace. Listen good what we're talking here about. Before you kill Amalek, mitzvah to erase Amalek. What peace? You don't have permission to offer them peace. I'm reading to you from the Rambam. The Rambam say, Shiva Amim vegam Amalek, and also Amalek, yesh lifnot elem leshalom. First, offer them to make peace. Im lo yashlimu, if they don't make peace, then you have to move to the next plan, which is destroy their memory. And do not revive them. Some people, they ask, how can it be that in a divine book, God says to the Jewish nation to destroy another nation? That's what they say today, genocide. How is it possible that God comes and say, take this nation of Amalek, do not leave anything, any memory from them, do not leave. And yet, the Jewish nation never made any genocide in history. Never. Check the history. Yeah, they were always attacked by the Goyim and protected themselves. But they never went after another nation to destroy them. And the Christians, the love of the religion of love, the religion supposedly of humanity, murdered so many people, rivers of blood. Being a hypocrite is a very dangerous thing. You present yourself as a sheep, and you're a real serious murderer. You're a liar, a lion. And the Jewish nation, what you see, that's what you get. This is the Torah, it's published to the whole world. Didn't God know that as soon as He's going to give the Torah, it will be published to 70 languages? Of course He knew. Didn't He know that Amalek would read in the Torah that it's mitzvah to destroy them? Of course He knew. But He wasn't afraid from His truth. This is the God, the merciful God, that says some people have no right to live. The faster you destroy them, the better it is for them and for the world. Not only for the world. For them, for themselves, it's better to be destroyed. Every day they live, eventually their punishment in the afterlife will be harder and harder. Harder and harder. All the wars, everything that happened, they always come to attack Israel, Amalek. Amalek is a nation that's willing to suffer as much as it takes, as long as they kill some Jews with them. That's why God cannot stand them. Every other nation, they have some kind of a political agenda. They want to fight with you on the borders. They want to fight on a piece of land. You want to go through their land and they don't want to give you permission. They don't trust you. They're afraid you're going to take over the government. They're afraid you take over the economy in their country. There is some kind of excuse. This Amalek doesn't have any excuse. Nothing. Just we live to hurt the Jews. And Hashem say, don't let them breathe. But even this despicable Amalek nation, Hashem say, offer them peace first. What do we learn from here? When you have your biggest enemy in life, the biggest, you have the power to destroy him. You always have to first offer him peace. You have an opportunity now to live and we won't touch you. You can destroy him. He won't do anything. He's not capable of fighting against you. You can wipe him out. One phone call and he's finished. Always give him the opportunity. Listen, if you live now peacefully, we won't touch you. Better in peace than in a war. We speak right now, and the Palestinians are shooting rockets, 50 rockets in the last day or two, all over Israel. They're shooting rockets. Now, today they announced that they have serious missiles that can reach Tel Aviv, all over Tel Aviv, Bat Yam, every city in Israel. So we have to wait now until they get the guts to start using them. Once they're going to shoot the first or the second, who knows what's going to be next. This is real missiles now, not rockets. So the situation is shaky. We don't know what can happen. Any second something can be that the whole country can go on fire. With the Hezbollah, with the Hamas, with the Jihad, with all these murderers out there, the situation is very, very delicate. When Hashem offered the Torah to all the nations, before He gave it to the nation of Israel, He came to the prophet or to the leader of this Goyim, and He offered them the Torah. And the Goyim, they made a vote. Who wants to take it and who's not. When they asked Hashem, what's in your Torah? What did He answer them? Listen good. This is what He says. To Edom, the nation of Edom, He said you should not kill. Why? He knew it's in their blood to be murderers. So I asked him, what's in your Torah? They say you're not allowed to kill. Not for us, they say. You cannot live without a sword. He came to Ammon and Moab, that they came from their grandfather slept with his two daughters. Lot, with his two daughters, Ammon was born in Moab. So it's called Gilui Arayot, adultery in a family. That's how the foundation comes from a horrible sin, between a father and his two daughters. So they ask him, what's in the Torah? He said, no adultery. No forbidden relation among the family members. So the question is, I don't understand. Or the same thing that the Gemara says, Atid Lavo, in the future, the Goyim will come to Hashem and say, well, if we give us the Torah, we'll also be righteous like the Jewish nation and keep the laws. He didn't give us the Torah, what do you expect? So Hashem gives them a trial to do a mitzvah on a trial basis. Which one? Sukkah. Build a sukkah and sit in a sukkah. So they build a sukkah, and then it takes the sun, and it's very hot, like fire. And they kick the sukkah, and they go back to their homes, and they say, lousy mitzvah, what do we need this for? So I don't understand. Either Hashem wants to give them a fair opportunity, or He wants to deceive them. The Torah says you should not deceive, and you're not allowed to deceive the goy. So why Hashem is deceiving them? It's against what He preached. He said to us, to a Jew, you're not allowed to steal from a goy. You're not allowed to trick him. You're not allowed to make him any kind of sorrow or pain, or to deceive him, or to trick him with money. You're not allowed. So how Hashem Himself does it to them? What's in your Torah? Only you should not kill. You should have told them you should love your friend like you love yourself. You should get married and have children. You should eat matzah in Pesach. You should give donation. Maybe with that they're very good. Why does He have to tell them you should not kill, knowing they kill? It's like coming to the Palestinians and tell them, you know what, you want to be religious, you're not allowed to kill anymore. No, no one, even your enemies, not allowed to kill. Can they live one day without killing? All these Hamas, Hezbollah, all these murderers. One day they don't murder, they cannot sleep at night. So how are you going to tell them such a thing? Of course, you know they won't accept it. Or you come to a nation of thieves. You know, every second person there is a crook. There are many nations like this, so I don't know which one to choose. And you tell them you should not steal. All our parnasah come from stealing. Leave your religion for yourself. That's what they say, no? But there are other things they will accept. Okay, so they're not perfect. Tell them the things that they may be strong with. When you want to make a person Baal Tshuva, you don't go to the hardest mitzvot to keep first. You start in a low level. Do this. Don't drive on Shabbat. You start with something. You don't tell him all the muktzeh laws. He's going to hear all the muktzeh laws. He gets scared. Wow, there's so much to learn. You learn in 2 years, 3 years, slowly as you progress. This is the right way, no? Like everything in life. Same thing in school. What, they teach you right away about algebra? First tell you 2 times 2 = 4. Aleph, Bet, next year, until you get to some serious stuff. So who understands what's happening here? Why Hashem told them such mitzvot that He knew they won't keep? Is that because He didn't want to give it to them? So He gave them such mitzvot that they would say no, and then in the future when they come to complain, He'll tell them, what do you want? I offered you the Torah, you vote against it. But that's deceiving. What is it like? Like a person that knows his friend will not come to him because he has a wedding on Wednesday night. So he is embarrassed because his friend expecting an invitation. So he said to him, I made a special arrangement to invite you and your wife to our house on Wednesday night. Because he heard that he's going to some wedding, he cannot. Is this allowed to do according to the Torah? Why not, Rabbi? It makes good relationship between me and my friend. I don't really want to invite him. Don't want him to get offended. So I pretend I want to invite him. Like this, we have peace. Sheker l'shem shalom. Peace for the sake, life for the sake of peace. Allowed or not allowed? Not allowed. Not only that, if you walk out of your home and a friend of yours is on the way to you, and you're going to send your mail, or to pick up the mail, and he's saying to you, you didn't have to come out for me to welcome me. He thought you saw him from the window, so you come out to help him with his bag. So you might say, well, if he thinks I came out for him, I might as well pretend. No, after all these months I didn't see you, I'm not going to come out to take your bag for you, come on. You were actually going to check the mail, but you pretend, you walk out. You make him feel good, what's the problem? Not allowed. Not allowed to be a crook. I didn't come for you, I'm sorry, I went to the mail. Yeah, there's a Gemara like this. So the answer is, Rabotai, listen good. You know why Hashem did it to them? Because they dare to ask Him, what's in your Torah? You have the nerve to ask me what's in my Torah after you see what I did to the Jewish nation? I give you an offer to join the Jewish nation. You saw what I did in Egypt. You saw the miracles that I did to the Jews 40 years. You see now the Jews are occupying the Holy Land against 7 empires who sits there. Nobody can make a beep. And now you're asking me what's in my Torah? Can it be bad? What do you think? It's going to be a bad Torah? What? What came across your mind? Well, how a person think that something bad will come from Hashem? How? So once they say, first tell us what's in it, Hashem told them the things that he knew they're not going to like. But still they could have said, okay, we work on it. What else there is there? They could have asked. But after they heard the first thing, they were not interested. They vote against it. This is what happened. Now, the Gemara says, until Matan Torah, until the day Hashem gave us the Torah, Shekhinah, the Spirit of Hashem, was also on the Gentiles, not only on the nation of Israel. Because the nation of Israel were Hebrews. There's no nation, officially there's no Judaism yet, because Judaism starts in Matan Torah, when we got the Torah. So up to now we were Hebrews. And now, what is it? Now it's called Judaism. So when the Goyim came, they had an opportunity to join the Jewish nation. Up to then, there was Shekhinah on the Goyim. Once the Jews received the Torah, no more Shekhinah at the Goyim. But 300 years later, King Solomon asked Hashem, if the Goyim ask you for something in the prayers, please listen to them immediately. The Jews, you can pray today, you can get answered in 7 years, when it's really good for you. Hashem knows the best timing. Sometimes Hashem doesn't listen to you because it's not good what you're asking for. You ask. Somebody asks for something, you think it's blessing and it's poison. So if his father's going to give it to him, you have a little baby crying, I want this candy. You know this candy will cause him a root canal. Just because he cry and beg, you give it to him? But he's going to have pain and has to lose a tooth. Life is full of examples like this. So, it says in the Torah, "Uvi'arta ara mikirbecha." Who understand what it means? Levaer, it's like be'ur chametz. You burn it. You clean all the chametz and burn it and destroy it from the world. What does it mean, "Uvi'arta ara mikirbecha"? It's too hot here. It's a killer. Let me guess, the heat is on 80? It feels like 80 at least. Huh? Shut completely. I don't need it. It's very hot outside today. I cannot understand. Everywhere I go, people pay money to get burned. When people work again, they have free fire, but nobody wants to go there. But over here, they bring it to their life and pay money for it. And it's not cheap. Anyway, so Hashem didn't say to the Jews to clean the bed from all the world. That's not the job of a Jew. It's not realistic. What did he say? Uvi'arta ara mikirbecha, from among you. Make sure the bed is not in your neighborhood. Make sure the bed is not in your home. Make sure the bed is not in a street where your children grow up. There's bed in Las Vegas. There's bed in San Francisco. There's bed in all kinds of places in the world. That's not my problem. Whatever they do over there, it's not my problem. I don't have an obligation to go to Las Vegas and burn the casinos and all the prostitution over there. If Hashem wants, He'll do it. But if they want to open one in my neighborhood, for that we'll fight. 3 years ago, they wanted to open Walmart in Muncie. Muncie is, I don't know, about 100,000 religious Jews living in my town. And they wanted to open the biggest Walmart in America, which will be thousands of cars every day. All the American culture will come into the most religious town in America. For the first time in history in America, a people of a city fought against Walmart. Can never win against Walmart because all the judges in their pocket, the president is in their pocket, the biggest company in the world. have hundreds of thousands of employees all over. Factories work for them. Walmart will fight with you. It's like another country fights against you. But the religious Jews in Muncie won against Walmart, and after they took the place already, it caused them a big financial damage. They gave up. That will be the end of Muncie, the end of Judaism in America. Finally, a place full of yeshivot, Torah, Shabbat is Shabbat. It will be destroyed. Why? Because the people who went did it for the sake of heaven, not because they're worried that the car will honk and there will be traffic. Every other place, people were worried about traffic and the value of their homes. Over here, people cared about the eternity of their souls. That's why it helped. When you fight for something, it's really important, then Hashem helps you. You fight for nonsense. This is what I always say. The Gemara says, "Sha'arei dim'a lo ninhalu." The gate of tears never locked, always open. So the question is, so in that case, why do you call it a gate? If it's always open, it's an entrance, it's not a gate. Why you call it a gate? The answer is, it's a gate for some people and it's an entrance for some people. People who cry for the real thing, it's always open for them. People who cry for nonsense, when they finally cry for something real, it's locked for them, measure for measure. You cry for stupidity, when you cry for something real, it will be locked. Yes, you're going to have to break it through. This is it. That's how it works. So Walmart did not understand how consistent they're going to be. And that was their end. I was in Englewood this Shabbat. I had a Shabbaton. So there were two Israeli scientists, from religious, came from Israel, and they stayed by one of the peoples in Englewood. And then Seudah Shlishit, he present them to the crowd. They are two among the best microbiologists in the world. They were the guest of Walmart for agriculture. Do you know that microbiology is the most dangerous thing in the world? Do you understand what it means or no? You can do genetic, you can change the genetic of seeds and can bring a disaster to the world. That's why every time you enter the United States, they give you the forms. If you bought seeds, or if you visited in a farm, or you bring all kinds of things, right away they take you to a serious investigation. They have all these detectors to see that you're not bringing something from a different country that can destroy America. For instance, why are they doing all kinds of changes in genetics in the vegetables and the fruits? Why are they doing it? Because they want to make a lot more. Like you have corns of 1,000 acres of cornfields. You can get 200 tons per month from there. By changing the genetics, it protects it from worms or certain insects, or it grows much faster, so you can make billions of dollars. It's interfering with nature. The problem is, when you supposedly improve one thing in nature, you can bring a holocaust in another field. Many of the people who would eat it, 10 years later, they'll have children that are mongoloids or Down syndrome and all kinds of other problems. Same thing like the nuclear facility in Russia. Many years ago, Chernobyl. Yeah. Until today, people are born with all kinds of strange things. Why? Because of the damage it makes to the area, to the fruits, to the vegetable, to the ground, to the water that people drink. It's very dangerous. So these two supposedly are very important scientists, that they invited them, Walmart, from all the scientists in the world, to give them advice on what they do and what they grow. You understand what we're talking here about? So let's move on. The Gemara brings a story. A guy came to Shammai and he said, make me a convert because I want to be a Kohen Gadol. I want to be a high priest in the holy temple of Hashem. So Shammai said to him, get out of here. Kick him out of the door. Get out of here, don't waste my time. Shammai was very strict. Also with the Jews, not with this guy only. Then he came to Hillel, which was supposedly more down to earth and more pleasant in his speech. And Hillel told him, listen good, now we understand together why the Gemara brings us this story. What is this, gossip? Why the Gemara brings this story? Let's see if you understand why. So the Gemara say he came to Hillel and he said, convert me because I want to be a Kohen Gadol. So why he wants to be a Kohen Gadol? Vini wants to be a Kohen Gadol. You know? So why Vini wants to be a Kohen Gadol? He should make a pizza store and sell pizza and pepperoni. Why does he need to be Kohen Gadol? Kohen Gadol, Bet HaMikdash, prayers, this, lulav, etrog, korbanot, kodesh HaKodashim. He was passing by a shul and he heard the Jews learning about the clothing of the Kohen Gadol. Just recently, a week ago, we read about it in the Torah. So when they heard that the Kohen Gadol wears such beautiful outfit with the hat and everything, so he said, I want to be imported like this Kohen Gadol. It's worth it for me to convert. So Hillel told him, listen, if you want to be a Kohen Gadol, it's like a king. You want to be a king, you have to go learn Torah. Cannot be an ignorant king. King has to be the smartest person. Wow, all the people come to him, speak to him, he won't know what they're talking about, it's going to be a disaster. So no problem. So now he's very ambitious. He has an ambition. So what's the ambition? He wants to go and become a Kohen Gadol. Hillel didn't tell him that a Goy cannot be Kohen Gadol, not even a Jew, just a Kohen. I didn't know that. So he sent him to yeshiva and he started to learn, to convert, and he was learning Torah. So now officially he's a Jew. So then, while he was learning, one time he came to the verse, V'azar hakarev yumat. If a stranger that is not a Kohen enters to a place in Bet HaMikdash he's not supposed to, it has to be killed. The serious violation of the laws of God. So he said to the Jews that were there in yeshiva, who is the Torah speaking about? They told him any stranger that is not a Kohen. Even King David. So he said, if King David, which is such a holy man who wrote Psalms, and God loves him so much, he cannot enter there, and if he does, he will have to get killed. It's needless to say me. He come from important descendants. Who am I coming from? I don't have any holy descendants. So he learned. But now he's already a Jew. So what should he have done? To go and complain to Hillel that he fooled him? Or to come kiss him on the head? What would you do if you were Vini? Some Vinis would come to the rabbi, Rabbi, shame on you. I went to learn 10 years, I learned Torah. Finally I became somebody. Now I found out that all this was for nothing. I cannot be Kohen Gadol. I told you the only reason I want to be a Kohen Gadol, that's the only reason I come. And you send me to learn, you say that's the conditions, and I follow with your instructions. But you actually fooled me. Right? That's what he should have said, no? Make a big deal out of it. Take him to the Supreme Court. CNN, all over. What Vini did, listen what the Gemara says. He came to Hillel, and he said to Hillel, Yanuchu brachot al roshcha shekeraftani tachat kanfei hashchina. May all the blessings of God will come among you and on you for bringing me under the wing of God. Why the Gemara brought this story? Story is nice, beautiful. You can learn a lot about it. It's not the time right now. But why the Gemara brought that story here? Who knows what's the message from this story? A few things you can learn from it, but what's the main message? The real thing is that when he came to Shammai, he kicked him. Don't waste my time. He came to Hillel. Hillel also knew that Judaism is not a missionary religion. He knew it. Everything that it's important, you don't get that easy. For instance, I'll give you an example. One professor in a university in Israel married a Goya, and he realized that his children is Goyim. So he decided to convert them, his wife and the children, one day. So what happened is, when they came, he went to the reform, and they told him, sign here, write the check, fill up the application. 5 minutes later, he said, okay, you're Jewish, goodbye. So he said to himself, I don't understand. When I went to the United States, apply for a green card, it took me 3 months, meeting, lawyers, preparations, application, 6 months until give me an answer. Cannot be to be a citizen in the nation of God takes 5 minutes, and to be a citizen in the nation of Obama, it takes 6 months, or 6 years, and today even 10 years. Doesn't make sense here. So he realized it's fake. So then he started to investigate, and he saw that they themselves goyim, these reforms. How can they make someone Jew? It's like a doctor who teaches not to smoke while he's smoking in a class. This is the reforms. And you want to make someone Jew when you go yourself eating shrimp on Yom Kippur? What is this? I'm not surprised at them. When a person is sinking all the way to the bottom of the garbage, he doesn't see anymore how down he is. I'm surprised in the rest of the world how foolish they are to waste their time on them. Now worry about them. A crook, he has his ways. I'm worried about the people who follow them and go there and waste their time and money and give them authority. Well, how can you give an authority? Huh? How you go? John, to the 2 rabbis, John and Paul, husband and wife, eat on Yom Kippur pork, and now they decide if to make you Jewish or not. Understand what's happening here or no? That's what's happening. That's the world. So, the moral of the story is that Hillel taught us how to teach people, how to be nice to people, how not to kick people out. With a sweet, nice talk and being friendly to every human being, you can achieve a lot more with being strict. The Gemara says someone who's extra strict cannot be a teacher, because the children are afraid of him. They are not learning anything. They always worry what's going to be the next punishment. People today have to understand that society and science is always developing, as we all know. Technology, nanotechnology, biology, microbiology, all kinds of things happening in the world. What's supposed to overcome what? The development of the science should determine the value of society, or the value of society should determine the limitation of science? What do you think? Who is the boss of who? Science is the boss of the Torah, or the Torah is the boss of science? Many people don't understand the values here. And they think since science is developing, it's time to erase parts of God's book. That's total stupidity. I don't know where it comes from, how these people that normally are not stupid, if they develop all kinds of scientific things and discover things, first thing they should have done, no matter what they're going to do, they cannot interfere with God's plan. Someone asked me on Shabbat an interesting question that brought to the Supreme Court. Poor judges in the Supreme Court. What's the question? Two gay female wanted to have a kid. So they needed a donor. So they took sperm from a donor, and they took egg from one of them, from one of the girls, put the sperm with the egg together in a laboratory, and transplanted into the body of the second girl. Like this, 3 shutafim ba'adam, 3 partners in the creation of the baby. Jennifer, Christine, and Jose. The Torah says his father, his mother, and Hashem. But today there's a new world. Science. Development of society, Rabbi. There's a special section in hell for all these developers. They'll be very happy when they see their punishment. You're laughing, but believe me, they won't laugh when they see the outcome of what they did to society. When you look at this country that we live in, this United States, there's many reasons to worry about. But in my opinion, the biggest reason to worry about the future of this country, besides economy and everything is collapsing and crashing and crime and all that, it's the gay marriage changes in 7 different states already, and it's constantly growing and growing, will bring the end to this country. It's going to become officially like Sodom and Gomorrah, and check in the Torah what happened to them. Fire came from heaven, a divine manufactured atomic bomb, 4,200 years ago, came from heaven directly on the heads of all these wicked people. And believe me, today the people are even more wicked than then, when you see what's happening in this country. So it's just a matter of time. When it's going to happen, we don't know. Hashem knows. But it's a very, very serious risk for the future of this country and other countries. There is a rule in a creation. Listen good. Pay attention. There is a rule in a creation. The lower the value of something, the lower it is, the faster it grows. The higher the value of something is, it grows in a much slower pace. Let me give you an example what I mean. You'll understand what I'm trying to say. Germs multiply. Every 9 minutes, they multiply in a cycle of 9 minutes. Insects, they give birth to 100 eggs per year. Every insect, 100 eggs per year. So they multiply by 100 per year. Mammals, 4 babies per year. So every year it's supposed to be 4 times more. Human being, maximum 1 baby per year. The lowest in a creation. 1 per year. Look at nature in raw material. What's the cheapest one? Sand. Plenty of sand everywhere. What comes right after? Stone, rocks, this. Less than sand, but also plenty. What comes after that? Metals, iron, metals. Less than rocks, but still plenty of metals. Then comes silver. Yeah, there are silver, but not as much as metals. Then gold, very precious, hard to find, gold. Then diamonds, very hard to find. And then color diamonds. 1 out of 10,000 comes blue, pink, yellow. The price of it is 100 times more. The more precious it is, the harder it is to manufacture it in a creation. How many Jews you have in the world? 13.2. How many Chinese? 1.5 billion. They both started in the same generation. And Jews did not have restriction on birth, like in China. The opposite. If you give birth to many kids, the government gives you more money. They want to have more, to create more Jews. But the people are not so anxious to create life. Everyone worry about how much the baby is going to cost him. We have to ask ourselves a question. It says in one place, Shomer Ptaim Hashem. Hashem is watching, thank you. the innocent people, they don't know there's all kinds of sicknesses where they are, and Hashem is watching them. On the other hand, it said that a person has to be very careful to watch his health. So who is responsible for our health? Hashem or us? It says in the Torah, Ani Hashem Rofecha, I am your doctor. So, who is the doctor of who? We are the doctors of ourselves, or Hashem is our doctor? This is the rule, listen good. It says like this: as long as the risk does not known to the public, there is a virus in the air, like it used to be SARS, people breathe and it's contagious. There is some kind of a danger, but nobody knows about it yet. Then only Hashem can help us from it, because we don't know what to defend ourselves from. Once the sickness became public, like AIDS, 1981, nobody knew what it is before. So if it was there a few months before, nobody knew what is it? Maybe they saw some symptoms, but they didn't know who has what. They don't know. They were not familiar with this disease. So if a person came across this disease, the only one who can save him is Hashem. That's what it means, Ani Hashem Rofecha. But if it was already published, it's our responsibility to protect ourselves and cure ourselves. That's why we need to work on vaccines and on medication and all kinds of things that can improve and make life easier of the patients. You understand? When a person wants to get married and the families wants them to do a medical exam, is this what the Torah says or no? What do you think? You want to marry a girl. You have to tell her, I want you to do an examination, what sicknesses you have. I want to get a whole report. And she say to him, okay, you do the same thing. Is this the right way or no? What do you think?
Yes. No.
Huh? No, what do you think? It's good or no?
Yeah.
It's all depend who the person is. If it's a person who lives with faith all his life and he trusts Hashem in a very strong level, so therefore in business he trusts Hashem, he doesn't check all the small details. Even he sign on a 100 pages document, he's not going to sit and read. He say, Hashem, I trust you, you brought me here, you protect my interest. So somebody like this doesn't need to go out of his way. But if a person is fearing every little thing, he's afraid, he's checking, lawyers, that, protection, cameras in his home, bodyguards, someone who check his car underneath before he start the car. He needs those tests, for sure. Because Hashem leave your fortune in your hand. When you're a loser and you don't trust Hashem, you'll take care of yourself. You don't trust me, you'll bring the money to yourself. Work 3 jobs, like a dog. Come home at 12 o'clock at night. You trust me, you leave it for me, I'll bring you the money. You don't trust me, you'll bring yourself the money. Now you decide who do you want to get paid from, by yourself or by Hashem. So you may come and say, okay, here, I was working until midnight, and now I come home at 6, and I don't pay the bills. No, it happens, no? Emunah doesn't mean it's instant. It can take 3 years, and you already owe $50,000 on your credit cards, and then in one shot you make $400,000 out of nowhere for the emunah you had. If the emunah would reflect on your life immediately, everyone would trust Hashem. Well, I want to work until midnight. If I work until 6 and I make double, show me one goy that will go to work until midnight. If you say, oh God, it's in your hand. Okay, tomorrow, no more midnight. 6 o'clock, I'm home with my children and then go to learn Torah at 8 o'clock. And right away, business would boom. So where is the test? Give it a chance. Don't worry, don't panic. Oh, you're already $10,000 deficit since you're not working the third job. Don't worry, Hashem feed the bugs and the elephant. He feed Mustafa the murderer. He feed the Maharaji that kissed the legs of Buddha. He'll feed you, the Jew, that try to keep the laws of the Torah. And if he didn't feed you, it's even better. That means your real food is going to be eternal. Food you get here, it's temporary. The food that you're going to get instead over there, it's forever. What do you want? A tree that gives fruit one time and that's it? You know, sometimes they bring to Costco, to Home Depot, a beautiful plant, flowers. You go, you dig, you carry it in your car. The whole car is dirty. You buy a special shovel just to make a hole. You cover it. All day your son is standing like this with water. In the end, the season come, 3 days. Pink flower, gone. So what a fool. All this job for nothing. Just a regular ugly tree. It doesn't have the flower. It's not blooming. Blooms for a week and finished. I'm talking from experience. Happens to me once. I'm stuck with this tree in front of me 51 weeks a year. This ugly tree. But in the pictures it looks great. Just like the politician makes life great before the election. And right after, nobody remembers your name. Now, let me read to you a great, brilliant sentence from a legendary Chacham. Rav Yeshaya Karelitz, the Chazon Ish, this is what he wrote. אם אדם הוא בעל נפש, I'll translate soon, ושעתו שעת השקט, חופשי מרעבון תאווני, אז רואה את העולם בעיניים בהירות. It's hard Hebrew, but let's go word by word, it's very deep. If a person has a clean soul, בעל נפש, not already on the level of an animal, it's not that low, still has a chance to recover, ושעתו שעת השקט, and he has a peace of mind to think about life, to investigate what needs to be done right now. Free from the cords of desires. Food, women, jewelry, cars, suits, whatever. Everyone with his desires. Free for 1 hour from these cords, from handcuffs who choke you and destroy your life. Free from that for 1 hour. Thinking, sitting and thinking. As only then he can see the world with clear light, like a great projector showing you the way. Which means that as long as you are a slave of your desires, you can never see the truth. That's why every person must have a rabbi, and a good one, who knows Torah and learn Torah and live according to the Torah, that will guide him in his life, because that individual cannot see what's good and what's bad. Cannot. Even if he's smart, cannot see. Why? He's addicted to Chinese. He's addicted to jewelry. 30 watches in his safe. His Ferrari, it's his life. 35 pairs of shoes in every closet in the house. Everyone with his addictions. Sometimes it's strange addiction, what people like. No. If a person has an item that he likes to make sins with, such as, no, give me examples, such as something that a person makes sins with.
Yeah, computer.
No, computer.
Girl.
No, item. Money you can do mitzvot with. Television. Dirty programs in a cell phone. Dirty newspapers. dirty radio, and you are his friend still, and you see that the newspaper arrived to his home on the way up, he doesn't know yet, and you want to burn the newspaper or put it in the garbage, that your friend won't see the dirty pictures there. But then you're afraid it cost him membership, cost him money. So you say, am I allowed to take this $10 that he paid for it and actually burn it to save him from the sin? What do you think the law is?
No.
You're allowed to go into his house and break his television?
No. No.
Rav Moshe Malka did it to a Chabadnik in Mexico. He went into his home, Erev Shabbat. He didn't know where he's going to stay. All of a sudden, he see a television on, an hour before Shabbat, in Mexico. ¿Cómo estás, señor? ¿Qué pasa? Ese Chacham, perdóname. Ese perdóname, perdona achotcha. Threw it from the window. Sue me now in Beit Din. You're killing your children and I'm going to stand here and smile? It's needless to say that he was never invited to that person ever again. One time I had to give him a ride, so I made sure my car doesn't have anything that looks like a scene. I don't know, a CD of the children, he may not understand what it is, and he may break something in the car. So when he walked into the car, he say, break this, break this. What? Break what? You know, the air condition that looks like crosses, lines like this and like this, comes. So it looks to him like many crosses. Why don't you break it? You don't need this. Break it. The air comes out without it. This has come from a person who prayed Tfilat Shmona Esrei 3 hours. 3 hours. Like devotion, like it's hard to find.
He's a sensitive person, though. He's sensitive.
So you're allowed to steal from your friend who destroyed his possession to save him from a sin. That's an halacha. He cannot sue you in Beit Din for that. Second, how do we learn it? The Gemara brings a story. Rav Ada bar Ahava saw a woman walks in the street with not such a modest clothes. I promise you, if you see the clothes that he ripped it off her in the middle of the street. He went, ripped it. What do you do? Crazy Rabbi. Don't spit. He ripped it like this in the middle of the street. And I promise you, if our Rebbitzins today had that clothing, we would be very lucky. Hamevin yavin. What not modest clothes a woman wore on the street 2,000 years ago. When I was a little kid, women didn't dress nothing like today. Nothing. Every old woman cover all the time, this. Don't see anything. Even the not religious people were very modest. So 2,000 years ago, what was not modest there? Maybe the color, I don't know. So he ripped it off her. Then it turns that she was Christine. She wasn't Jewish. She said, what do you want from me? So she took him to court, and he had to pay her 400 zuz, lots of money, for the embarrassment and for ripping her garment. So what do we learn from this story? That if she was a Jew, she couldn't do anything about it. Because Jews are all one family. And when your brother takes drugs, you flush it down the toilet, even if you pay $1,000 for it. And he cannot sue you in court for throwing his cocaine to the garbage. No judge in a Beit Din will convict you. The opposite, you get a reward. And if a woman dressed like this on the street, whatever you did, nobody can do anything. You worry about her eternity. Try to help her. But today, don't do it. Don't get any ideas. Why? Today, the media is so dirty and looking for so many things to look, religion looks bad, that sometimes helping in one side can cause a much bigger damage on another side with the media world. In the old days, there's no media. 2 people on the market, they saw it, and it's over. Nobody knows. Today, right away, it will be on CNN. So what happened to the guy who spit on somebody that wasn't modest? I went to all over the world. All over the world, somebody spit in Israel at a not modest girl. And all over the world, they're talking about it on the news. A person went into his friend's house and stole something from the house and gave it to a woman to make her his wife, Kiddushin. He stole a ring from his friend's drawer and he put it on his girlfriend's ring and he said, הרי את מקודשת בי בטבעת זו, כדת משה וישראל. She's married or not?
No.
That's why the rabbi asks you, did you buy it with your own money? Because if you borrow it or it's not yours, she's not going to be your wife. What's the point? You have to buy it with your own money. What happened when the friend came and he saw his ring in his friend's hand and now it's in his supposedly wife's hand? And he say, why you gave her this garbage ring? I have much better one. You should have given her this gold one. I gave her this one. It's not honored, you know, for your wife. You're giving her a $5 ring. I have a $500 one. You should have given her this. So now, when the marriage is active or not, well, she's still not married. After he came and he showed that he didn't mind that he take. He's mochel. Good that you took. You should have taken a better one. No. Good friends. If your friend know you open his fridge and you drank his iced tea that he prepared all day, or the beer, and he say, oh, I'm happy you took it. Is that stealing or not?
Yes.
No,
the friend said, I'm very happy. Next time take more. There's also some in the closet, some whiskey. Why are you taking beer? Beer, it's only, wow, how much a bottle cost? $2? Yeah, take whiskey, it's $8. Why you take $2? And he means it. So it's still considered stealing. Why? Why?
You didn't ask permission.
Because he say it out of his embarrassment. There's no guarantee that that's what he feels. He come in front of the people, oh, you should have taken this one. It's all a show-off. His heart is burning. What the chatzuf, stealing a ring from my drawer. But he's what we call echad bapeh, echad balev. Hashem cannot stand people like this. The heart say right, the mouth say left. The heart say left, the mouth say right. Whatever the heart is, the mouth and the face is the opposite. Show off. It's all a show off. Smiling, haha, yeah, great, wow, we're so happy you came. And looks at his watch, ooh, how long I'm going to suffer with him now. When are we going to get rid of him? Oh, come, you should come more often. Miriam, bring them something to eat. Put poison inside. You know. One person came to Rav Chaim Kanievsky. He says his wife was making him sandwiches every day to work. He puts it in a locker room. 1 o'clock he comes to eat lunch. It's gone. Gone. So he said, what's going on? Every day someone's stealing my sandwich? What's going to be here now? So the next time he took poison and he put inside the sandwich, and that person came and ate it, and after a few minutes started to cough, became blue, ambulance, oxygen, and he almost died in the hospital. He could have died. By a miracle they saved his life. But it caused him serious damage. Did he do according to the Torah? Or it's an attempted murder? What do you think? There are 3 options. 1, it's a serious sin of attempted murder. 2, it was allowed but not a great thing to do. And the 3rd option, it was a mitzvah.
It's a mitzvah.
Number 1.
So he said it's a mitzvah. Is it a mitzvah to kill the thief who comes to your house to steal something that worth $500? You're allowed to kill him? He deserves execution? So what do you say? To kill him with your hand, you're not allowed. But I didn't tell you to come steal my sandwich. I can do whatever I want with this sandwich. You came and stole my sandwich, my friend, you get the poison with it. Where does it say it in the Torah? There's a clear verse just about cases like this. No, who knows? Who knows Hebrew here? Al itenu larasha veyamut. Shove it to the wicked person's throat that he should die. That's what Hashem say. Don't have mercy on this crook. He comes to steal, let him this. Another case like this in Israel. You know, in Israel, they still live like in the 19th century in some places. You know, it's very advanced in certain parts of Israel and very retarded in another place. So they still have ropes outside that they put the clothes in the sun to dry. Not everyone has dryer there, you know. So they put, you know, the shirts with clips. So what happened is that the thieves, they throw a hook with a rope on those strings like this, and they climb to the second floor, and they break from the window into the house and steal. So one person, it's already happened to him a few times that the thieves come into his house with this trick. So he asked Rav Chaim Kanievsky that he wants to make the rope almost tear it completely, to do 80% cut, that once this person's going to climb after a minute or two from the way, he's going to rip and he fall and break his legs. Allowed or not? Allowed. See? The Torah didn't say to be a fool. That's what some religious people don't understand. There's no mitzvah to be a fool, to let people take advantage on you. No. Now, kids in our generation, are they allowed to force their parents to give them money? Sometimes the kid comes to the father, give me, all day, all night. He drills in his father's head. The father says, let me just give him the $50 to get rid of him already. I cannot take this headache already. Cry, scream, calling him, take the $50, go, come back tomorrow. Let me breathe. Once the father gave it, did the kid violate any rule from the Torah or no? What sin? Huh? How many sins the kid violated by doing that? One, lo tit'aveh. To come to materialize your desires, it's like chomed, jealousy, or something that you want to get. Lo tit'aveh. Second, lo tachmod. If the parent was upset at that, then it's also a violation of kabed et avicha ve'et imecha. So kids should never force their parents to give them money. They ask once, they want to give them, yes, they don't want, no problem. The more they push and they give it to them just because they cannot take the annoying bother, then it's becoming a violation. And people not aware of it. Many of the kids which are older than bar mitzvah, they have to be careful from that. Rav Chaim Volozhin, time is running out. Rav Chaim Volozhin one time gave a speech. He was a student of the Gaon Mivilna 200 years ago. And in his speech, he said every person has to see himself like he's one of the people that the Mishnah in Sanhedrin, chapter 4, the Mishnah in Masechet Sanhedrin, speaking about a list of Jews who lost their share to the world to come. This is the famous Mishnah that we read on Shabbat morning prayer after the Musaf. Kol Yisrael yesh lahem chelek la'olam haba. This is the famous Mishnah. But we only know the first half of the Mishnah. The other half of the Mishnah we don't know because it's not in the prayer. It's out of the prayer. Why? Because it's negative. The positive half, it's in the prayer. We want God to give us and to have mercy on us. But the list of the Jews who lost their share for eternity, we don't put inside the prayer to bring more problems to ourselves. You know, speaking about the prayers, when we pray Shmona Esrei, right? How long does it take? 5-6 minutes? From the 6 minutes, how many of them we think about the real words and how many of them we think about nonsense? Anyone here can raise his hand and say from the 6 minutes, all 6 minutes I focus word by word and I feel great connection to Hashem. I did not miss the meaning of one word. And I did not think about anything else besides the words of the prayer. Anyone, it happened to him once in his life? Once in his life. I didn't think so. I'm not surprised. Very hard to focus. But you know what's the bad part? When we finish the Shmona Esrei, what do we say? יהיו לרצון אמרי פי והגיון ליבי לפניך, השם צורי וגואלי. You know what? May you accept all my words and all my thoughts to be welcome in front of you, my dear God. So this is why we have so many problems. It's actually making us more damage than helping us, the prayer. Why? We come, Hashem, open my lips that I can praise you and say how great you are. Bless you, God. You're the doctor of all the sick people. I can't believe my wife made me such a lousy lunch. And then he continue. This, wow, I didn't get my car today. Baruch atah Hashem, mechayei hametim. Then he continue. You know, this, he begins, he thinks about his friend from college now. What he do to me, he stole my thing, that, I'll show him, I'll teach him a lesson. Then he continue, modim anachnu lach, that is a beautiful movie today on television. And then he said to Hashem, please take my prayer to be welcome to you and my thoughts. Horrible, huh? I said to somebody now, I was in Achnasat Sefer Torah in Great Neck. So he was sitting next to me. He said, no, say the Dvar Torah. So I told him this. The guy almost fainted. He said, wow, I never thought. It is a 60-year-old man. I never thought of it. Who thought of it? So we have to focus. Now I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, you know what? He's right. I might as well quit davening. Maybe it's the source of all my problems. Don't think like a fool. Think I might as well focus very hard on every word. I'll force myself. You know when a person would pray every word and not miss a word? Try to imagine that you have a gun. A Russian Cossack holding a gun to your head, and he said to you, look, you see, I have a screen, and I see what you think while you're talking. If one word will not match what you think, psh, it's not a Russian roulette. It's full of bullets. Not maybe yes, maybe not. So you say, bless you, Hashem. Then you're about to think about your girlfriend. Pah! Finished. 1, 2, 3, you get the point. So not everyone would think straight. A person can really control his mind if he really wants to. If not, he let the mind travel. Tell me, a person that does drugs, lo alenu, what blessing he has to say before he takes it? Birkat haderech. Blessing on the way. He travels now to somewhere. You get on a plane, you make a special prayer, no? Birkat haderech. So Rav Chaim from Volozhin, he said a person must see that he's one of the people that the Mishnah brought as a Jew who lost his share to the world to come. Which one of the things the Mishnah say, one of them, someone who can learn Torah every day and doesn't learn, it's considered an apikors and lost his share to the world to come. Did you know it? And all the audience, all the crowd was crying non-stop the entire speech. And he couldn't finish his speech. The crying was so loud that he left in the middle and he didn't finish his speech. Famous speech he gave 200 years ago. Today, not only people don't cry, they wait until the lecture will be over, that they can go back to their nonsense. You know how many people can learn Torah and they don't learn? It's a shame. Because remember, learning Torah, besides the actual mitzvah of learning Torah, it changed your entire life. It's one of the things that help you in many different fields. Not only in learning, in many different fields. And to be able to do it, you have time in between college, semester. Some people say, Rabbi, I don't have time. I leave early in the morning, I come late at night. And they're really busy, they're really busy. When will Hashem prove them wrong? Sundays, when they're off. 12 o'clock is still snoring. Moshe, what's going to be with you all day? All week I work very hard. But if his friends will call him to the beach, 8 o'clock in the morning, you're already 7 o'clock preparing the sandwiches. What happened, Moshe? You're like a tiger. My friend is giving me a ride to the beach. How can I miss an opportunity? But Sunday, 12 o'clock, he snores. There's a game soon. I'm making a preparation for what's the name of that game? Superman. Super Bowl, whatever. Time ran out. One last thing for today. Somebody that can learn and does not learn, what does the Torah say about him? Ki dvar Hashem baza. The word of God is not important for him. He embarrassed the words of God, embarrassed them, brought them down lower than their value. It's someone who can learn Torah and does not. The Chazon Ish, the legendary Chacham who I mentioned a few minutes ago, this is what he writes. Every sentence that came out of his mouth, it's amazing, amazing what level, a person who lived 50, 60 years ago only. This is what he wrote. אם יזכה אדם להרגיש את הרע והנמאס, if a person would have the merit to feel the bad, נמאס means something that you got sick and tired from, to feel it, בהיעדר ידיעת התורה, from lack of knowledge in God's Torah, עד שימס לבבו, until his heart will melt like liquid, in crying in front of God, this person should know and realize that already it's a huge step forward in his life. אשריו, אשרי חלקו, וכבר מובטח לו שתפילתו נשמעת. And he should know that if he reached that level, from now on Hashem would take all his prayers and listen to them, everything. So what's the condition? That a person would look at his situation just like that. Look what a loser I am. 40 years old, don't know no Torah, no Mishnah, no Gemara, no nothing. Just nonsense I know, business, sport, all kinds of stupid things. But Torah, I don't know anything. And he begins to cry in his bedroom. Mamash feel like life is over. Oh, what did I do with my life? Until he feels that his heart is boiling, melting, and the tears are coming non-stop. Then at least you made one step forward. This is a Chazon Ish, a legend. 3 days he didn't get up from a chair to understand one row in a Gemara if he didn't understand. He didn't get up until he banged on the table. He'd say, I have to get it. And then he got it. Not because he understood, because Hashem gave it to him. He saw what a devotion in learning. I had the merit, my grandmother worked in his house for a few years. In the house of the Chazon Ish, the biggest Chacham in the land of Israel ever. In the modern time, since Israel became a state, the biggest. By Sfaradim, by the Ashkenazim, everyone understands he was the biggest. And lived such simple life. He got a metal bed from the agency when they came to Israel. Metal bed like in prison. You know those metal beds like in the army? One blanket, 2 chairs from wood, all bending like this. That's it. and never changed his furniture all his life, and never looked at himself in a mirror once, until they took him to some office building, and he came out of the elevator and he saw in the end of the hallway a person there going like this. So he said, hello. And the driver told him, Rabbi, it's you over there. I said, me? Never looked at himself. Why? He didn't know how he looked. Because he never stopped learning a minute on his life. Minutes. Never. So connected to Torah. This is the Chachamim we had in our time. This could be your grandfather. Most of you are young here. 50 years ago, that's it, in the time of Ben Gurion. יחי ההבדל הגדול. רב שמחה בוני מפשיסחה says, a person must see the Satan, who is in charge of the evil inclination, standing above his head with the axe in his hand, ready to chop your head off. That's how you have to think about the Satan every minute of your life. Because he's always ready to destroy you spiritually. And if you cannot imagine the Satan ready to chop your head off, you cannot get to this level, that means he's already chopped your head off. He already took it off. If you cannot think about it. You understand the point here or no? If you cannot think that, that means he already took you off. Spiritually. But if you can still imagine it, before you make a scene, oh, the Satan is about to destroy me. Same Satan who makes you make the scene is the one who testify against you. What do you think? Same one. If that's what the case is, then you still have a hope. And if not, then you know everything is over. You should know one thing. In every religion, there is the civil laws, citizenship, and separate religion. Which means in the United States, you can be an American Muslim, American Hindu, American Christian, American whatever, Beloni, whatever. Everyone has something. But the citizenship is equal to everyone. Every country, there are many religions. There's only one religion that the civil, the citizenship, and the religion is one. It's Judaism. Judaism is not a religion. It's the identity of the Jews. That's really what it is. There's no way to separate between civil and religion when it comes to the life of a Jew. Because the civil also come from Hashem. That's the difference between all the other constitutions that people set and thought how to make rules. So that rules has to be equal to all people, all citizens. But the Torah, it's for the Jews. And the rules, the civil laws of the country, of the state, is also in the Torah. You should not steal, you should not deceive, you should not kill, this. Everything is built into the Torah. That's why taking it, eliminating parts of the Torah and replacing it with the law of the British on the Turkish, there's no bigger crime than this. That's what the Zionists did in Israel. They communists, they came from Russia and Poland, and they put an X on God's and his religion, and they copy from what the British and the Turks left in Israel and made a secular court. Biggest crime for a Jew is to sue another Jew into this clown house. Even to enter to a secular court. You're not allowed to put mezuzot in this building. If you see mezuzah, you got to take it off. It's a disgrace for the name of God that this wicked judge is sitting over there and ruling according to the laws of people, the goyim. Not allowed. If you're a rabbi and they're calling you from the court in Israel to put mezuzot, it's a sin to do mezuzah. And if you make a bracha, oi to the punishment God will give you for mentioning his name on a sin. It's not a mitzvah. It's like a person who eat pork and make a bracha, שהכל נהיה בדברו. What is he going to get? A reward for the bracha or no? What do you think he's going to get? This is it. In the world of lies that we live in, a secular newspaper reporter wrote an article, how horrible for the women converts that they have to go into the mikveh in front of 3 male rabbis, that they have to verify that she went completely into the water. Of course, he's not going to tell you that they're far away and there's no way to see her. She takes off the cover, she's already under the water, they only see the edge of the head. They don't tell you all that. But the same newspaper reporter that wrote this article about horrible, how humiliating it's the law of conversion, sitting with his wife naked with bikini on the beach in front of 1 million guido per day. You see what a hypocrite? Talking about women who goes into the water when his own wife standing naked in front of the whole world on television, that doesn't bother him. Such crooks. You understand? This is what happened to a person when he's not honest. If you're honest, you know you're not good, don't tell your friend criticism. You're nothing better than him. Be quiet also. Correct yourself first, the Gemara said, then worry about others. In the middle of the Holocaust, listen good, a man from the SS named Kurt Gerstein, German, tried to report to the Pope of what happening in the gas chambers. He was a distributor of the gas Zyklon B that the Nazis used to kill the people, the Jews. And there was one young priest with him named Ricardo, Spanish priest. When Ricardo saw that the Pope doesn't care that the Nazis exterminating children and women and innocent people, and he doesn't do anything to stop it, he ignored all their messages that they gave him. He put a yellow Star David on his jacket, this priest, got on a train with the Jews, pretending he's a Jew, and went with them to Auschwitz and jumped into the gas chambers and died. He couldn't see how monster the Christians became. So I'm representing the Christian religion, and the Pope see that they're murdering people and he doesn't care. That means this religion is worthless. Cannot call it religion. You know what's the difference between you are an authority of the religion, at least you have to, like that's what's happening now in Syria. Where is all these Muslim Qadis that speak in a church against Israel, in a mosque against Israel non-stop? How come not one of them make a beep against the new Hitler, Assad, Imach Shimo, that murdering people 100, 200 every day? Nobody makes a beep. Not only that, they're helping him to cover his crimes. They show on YouTube all of them with their customs, supposedly religious, going to the mosque to pray that they can murder more people. This is what's happening. You know, in Morocco, there was a person called Yaish, Jew, Moroccan Jew, religious. When we say religious, we always mean looks religious. Not everyone who looks religious is really religious, but at least we mean he looks religious. He had a Muslim friend, and the Muslim friend trusted him because he's a religious Jew in Morocco. Morocco is one of the only countries in the world that Jews and Muslims live in peace relatively to the rest of the Middle East. Jews have some rights in Morocco. The king protected them, the Moroccan kid. There is a Moroccan Chazan that I have the merit to meet in person. His name is Chaim Louk, in his 70s now. He's a very famous Chazan, the most famous Moroccan Chazan. He is a guest of honor in the palace of the king of Morocco. He invites him to sing in their weddings, in all kinds of events that they have. The princess, the king, they're very good with him. So this, Yaish, his friend, the Muslim, wanted to go to Saudi Arabia, to Mecca, for the Ramadan. And he gave him all his life saving. Watch all my money for me. If I don't come within 1 year, it's yours. That means I will not come, because I was supposed to come in 40 days. But sometimes people get hurt there. It's 2 million people, this, that. Things can happen in the desert. So if I don't come, by 1 year I don't have children, nothing, keep the money. But if I come, I trust you to give me back the money. No problem, go. Then he came back. And this Moroccan Jew got very disappointed. He already dwelled what he's going to do with the money, thinking he has plans. All of a sudden, this Hassan showed up. So he came to him, the Muslim, where is my money? So he said to him, what money? You know, there's no witnesses. So he told him, the money I gave you before I went. So you didn't give me any money. You have a proof that you gave me money? Come on, you cannot do such a thing. In the name of God, in the name of Allah, how are you going to do such a thing? He said, I'm telling you, you're wrong. You lost your mind over there. Maybe you fasted too many days, affected your head. So this Muslim, what is he going to do now? He took him to the Beit Din, Jewish Beit Din. Who was the rabbi there? Rabbi Avraham Zarian, a Moroccan rabbi, Av Beit Din. So they came in. The rabbi asked the Muslim, do you have any documents? No. Witnesses? No. Any proof? Anything? No. So you know, according to the Torah, show him the Torah. Say, you need to supply some kind of an evidence. But the rabbi felt that this Muslim not going to come and make a show and pretend he gave him the money if something like this never happened. It's crying, it's all his savings. So he said to the Muslim, excuse me for 2 minutes, please go out. I want to talk to him one word. The Muslim went out. So the rabbi comes to this Yaish. Great. Great. You gave it to him. Come shake my hand, I'm proud of you. So the crook said, really, Rabbi? How are you so smart to take away his money without witnesses? I couldn't talk in front of him. I don't want him to know that I'm happy. The rabbi is telling him, yeah, how much you took? He said, Rabbi, I took $40,000 from him. This Muslim is so foolish. The rabbi say, call the Muslim back in. He called the police there in a Beit Din. Arrest this crook. Put notes all over town. No one is allowed to do business with him anymore. No one is allowed to marry his family. No one is allowed to help him in any way. I put him on a complete ban. The Muslim was so happy. He bought 40 kilo of butter. 40 kilo, it's like 88 pounds. 88 pounds of butter and fresh bread from the bakeries. Moroccan delicious bread, and started to give it to all the poor Jews of Morocco, and was screaming like crazy on the street, how honest is the Torah and the rabbis who represent the Torah. If you're afraid of God, it doesn't matter, Jew, Muslim, anyone. It's the justice comes before everything. No politics. Today, the Muslims, after 1,300 years since their foolish religion started, after 1,300 years that they were saying that we believe in the Torah, everything, now they started to make up stories. That Abraham didn't take Yitzchak to the Akedah, he took Ishmael. The Torah say it's Yitzchak. So what did they say? No, the Jews changed the Torah. Why it's such a stupid claim? Let's see who's clever here. Maybe they're right. Maybe the Jews changed the Torah. Maybe it was really Ishmael. How do we know?
It's the same Torah throughout the world.
Very good. Thank you for saving our dignity here. If the Jews ever changed the Torah, where is that version? All over the world there's one version. No one in the history reported any other version than the one we have. We are the only one who has one Torah. They have hundreds of different Quran. 200,000 of New Testaments today. 200,000 versions. One Torah all over the world. Where is that Torah? Show one copy in a history that it says Ishmael. Nothing. But none of the Muslims in the mosque are even a little bit clever to ask, what do you mean change the Torah? Do you have in the history any documents, in libraries, in the archives, anywhere, one Torah that speaks about Ishmael, the wild beast? No, of course not. But nobody asked. Bunch of lies, one on top of the other. And this is the religion of Islam, the religion of peace. You understand? And we'll finish with a good joke. one good joke. One Jew and an Arab, they were betting which religion has more scholars, more rabbis that knows their religion. So the Muslims say, wow, we have much more. We are billion Arabs in the world. For sure we have more Qadis. And so the Jews say, no, Judaism have more rabbis than you, than Islam. So the Arabs say, so the Jews say to the Arab, listen, let's make a deal. For every Chacham you name in Islam, you pull one hair from my beard. And for every rabbi I will mention, I will pull one hair from your beard. Is that a fair deal? The Muslims say, yeah, fair deal. He said, okay, you start. So he came to the rabbi, he said, Muhammad. So the rabbi go, ay. He say, Atala, ay. Ahmed, ay. Abu Mahmoud, ay. 5, 6. The Arab is stuck now. He's thinking. The Jew say, okay, you done? Now it's my turn. He pulled one. Moshe Rabbeinu. So the Arab, ay. So then he grabbed his entire beard. He said, Rabbi Akiva and his 24,000 students. He made him his face like a woman. We didn't even start yet. You understand? But don't worry. When the Mashiach come, it will take less than an hour. There will not be one mosque and one church left in the world. 1 hour. What will happen to these mosques and churches? Who's going to destroy them? The Mashiach? They will destroy it. They will run and burn it. Completely. Why? From the embarrassment. That they realized that there was all a lie. They won't let it stay. Well, it's a big embarrassment for us. The messenger of God showed up finally, and we're going to show him this idol house and all the nonsense that they were saying over there all these years. They will have to cover evidence as much as they can. But it won't help them. When the truth will come out, the whole world will know, Bayom Hawi Hashem Echad Ushmo Echad. Please, I want to make an announcement. I added a link on my website for Shidduchim. I know many people are having a hard time to find their soulmate. There's one rabbi in Florida, Rabbi Shai Perry, his name. He's an Orthodox rabbi, and he's trying to make some kind of a legitimate agency for finding soulmate for real Orthodox people. They're looking for really religious people, not half enough or too modern and all these things. For that, you have plenty. Well, one real good one, supposedly I don't think there is a real good one. So they're trying now, they're starting to collect names, and it's in my website. I think they give 3 months for free as a trial. You can see, that's one thing. Second, all my lectures are on events. On events, many people calling me every day, where are you speaking tonight, where are you speaking tomorrow? Stop with these phone calls, I don't have time for it. Just go to my website and go on event, you see, tonight, this address, that time. Tomorrow, it's a month, 2 months in advance already. Now you have lectures that will be by the end of April already registered there in the events. It's all there. Just see it over there and that's it. Anything, okay, if you know people who are already in the Facebook, people who don't have Facebook, better not to start. But people are already in, turn them into my page. At least we put lectures and things and articles. At least they wake up from their nonsense. Because if they're already there, you might as well get them out of there by showing them the Torah. So and also when you go into the website and you listen to lectures, share it with other Jews. Anyone who can benefit from these lectures, asking questions, showing interest, direct him into the website, divineinformation.com. For the people that every mitzvah they're going to keep, you will have a share in it. It's an easy thing to do. You forward it to your email list, to your Facebook list. More Jews will see the truth. Thank you very much. Thank you to Yaniv from Chazak for another beautiful event. Thank you very much.